Yeah guys, it's afternoon. The battery is full. I want to shut down the system here. The reason is that tomorrow I'm going to disassemble the battery. And I want the cells to be full because I just want to top them up then individually and make a capacity test with every single of these cells, because you know, a seller here in Thailand told me once that lithium iron phosphate cells are same like gold. So yeah, I will give them away for a very cheap price. We'll sell them online and yeah, maybe I get a few bucks back here. Anyways, tomorrow in the morning these two compartments will be emptied out, and then we are going to install the new two battery packs here. Good morning guys. Today is the day when these Sinopoly 100 amp hour used cells will say goodbye. I had them now for around 5 years. They arrived with a state of health of around 80 to 85% when I got them. At that time they have been around 2 years old, and yeah, it seems that they had a quite hard first life. And yeah, after another 5 years, and now we are down below 50% available capacity. That's quite terrible, so they need to go. All of this will come out. They will still not be recycled, I hope. I will give them away if somebody needs them. They can still be used for, let's say, UPS or something like this. Anyways, in this combination with the day in weather, they have been running now for about 2 months, and there has been 750 kilowatt hours of excessive energy stored together with the day inverter, which is good. It is a little bit better than what my previous DIY equipment could do, but not by too much, maybe just a half a kilowatt hour per day, which this combination is better than what was before. Für die deutschen Zuseher, ich zeige dann eine Zusammenfassung vom fertigen System, wo es dann um die Verbindungen geht und Kommunikation zum Inverter und BMS-Settings. Let's just not delay too much. We have a lot to do and start with the job. Yeah, let's just talk about how we are going to do this. You see, I have here my shelf system. So first of all, we are going to remove all these jumpers, of course, so that we are splitting up the pack to low voltages, of course. Then all the bus bars will be removed and the cells will be taken out of the shelves. After that, all these metal pieces here need to come out. So we will use an angle grinder to remove this, and then we will have two compartments here. I have to use these two because otherwise for the second battery the cable would not be long enough to reach the bus bar. So there will be one battery here in this compartment and one will be just over here. I was initially concerned to use this compartment because we have the beam here and the battery needs to go just until the wall there. So I was afraid that it would not fit here, the second pack, into this one compartment, but it is just fitting here into this area, almost by the millimeter. So yeah, and yeah, once the batteries are in, we will put bus bars here, the main bus bars for the DC. So one will then go to the inverter, one cable. That one is a 70 square millimeter, and then there will be two breakers for each battery one, and with the 35 square millimeters we will go from the batteries to the breakers and to the bus bars. Yeah, so most probably I will have to remove here the roofing and change this a little bit, because to protect from the sun, especially the inverter, I need to extend the roofing a little bit. And I hope that after the packs are inside, that there is still enough space in the front for the door. Yeah, the BMS which I have used was a 200 amp BMS from Dali, and it did quite a good job. Even normally I did not balance this pack. After I got the day inverter, I actually also set the BMS so that it could do its passive balancing job, and it did it also quite well. Actually, the last months now, the pack voltages have been actually quite held in check. When you work with something like this, of course, always be careful that you do not short out anything between cell strings. Especially remove all your rings if you do wear some. Just a word to the bus bars, right? As you might know, I was really just using simple aluminium bars. These were about 50 square millimeter, and if you look at the bus bars, there's no corrosion at all. So even we are here in the tropics in a harsh climate, so this held up very well. And the battery terminals anyway are also aluminium. Right, all the bus bars are removed. I'm now loosening the pressure plates here. So now it's open so far, and we can remove our battery cells. Why do I think that these cells actually degraded quite quickly? You know, these are first generation lithium iron phosphate cells. They were built a little bit differently. Even that we are here in a hot climate, that was surely not the issue, because I was not running the pack very hard, so there was surely no internal heating up of the cells. I think it's the design of these cells. They do come with a active vent here, and the moment I got them, you could always smell electrolyte, right? So when you can smell electrolyte, it also means that that electrolyte is evaporating. It must disappear after a long time. So after many years in operation, I guess that this kind of cells are slowly drying out internally, and that is then causing the internal resistance to raise and the capacity to drop. Yeah, I'm 2.5 hours into the job and all the cells are out. Yeah, if this would be really gold, that would be nice, of course. What I'm thinking actually here is that I will remove the doors, because I have to extend the roof anyway. Just make a proper roof, like let it extend for about 1 meter or so, and keep everything open. I think if you leave this rated equipment on open air and you keep it away from rain and sun, this should actually be better for the equipment than close it up somehow. And especially, of course, it's hot here, so the heat can be just radiated away from all sides. It would be similar to the inverter. There they say they have to keep it open to the front. It's just at the moment also that the roof was too short. So now during the summer season, the sun might touch it a little bit. Yeah, so I think I will do it like that. Just remove the doors. I have to do some structural work now, remove these metal pieces. The structure is prepared. We have now our 2 compartments. So one battery will be here and the other one here. You can see here from the inverter, I'm going with my battery cables. So these are heavy duty, to my main breaker. This is a MCCB DC 250 amps. And from here, it's going to a bus bar here. And then I have individual breakers, and that's this here. So also MCCBs, and this time 180 amp DC. So this battery from Bettenergy needs a breaker outside. So you can either use a breaker or a fuse, of course, but it is advised to use, of course, a non-polarized overcurrent device. Some manufacturers, they are putting a disconnect like an MCB into the box, but with those MCBs you never know. They are most of the time polarized, and you can actually get a fire if the breaker has to pop with the current going into the wrong direction, right? So I recommend highly to use either these kind of MCCBs or to use a fuse, right? You can use an NH fuse or whatever you like. So here I do have my bus bars. It's the typical bus bars everybody is using. You know, you can buy it from Amazon or whatever. I once saw, after I bought them, a video from David Potts, and he said even they are rated for 250 amps, they cannot withstand 250 amps, and he's absolutely right, because the cross section of this bus bar here is only 40 square millimeters. That would be in the best case somewhere 150 amps rated. So I have doubled up with a aluminium bus bar here. Good, here I still have some of my 70 square millimeter cables, and then the battery cables here. This I'm going to install now. DC cabling and installing breakers is finished. Battery 1, battery 2, I have used the whole 1.5 meter of cable which came with the batteries, and it must be the same length also for both batteries, so that there is no voltage difference between these batteries when it comes to feed here into the bus bus. Okay, so the only thing remaining now is lifting the batteries into the shelf. I now have a problem. There is no strongman available, and I'm not as strong, of course, to lift 120 kilos half a meter up into the air. Still, we're not giving up. What we can't do by force, we have to do with brain. So I have an idea. I have some elements of my scaffolding, and I want to try to build some kind of path here where I can then wiggle the battery up here into the place. So let's pick that stuff up from the garage and then see if we can be successful that way. Damn it! The second one was a little bit easier now because I know which part made the most problems. But it was like wrestling, and that in the wrong league. Right? I have 74 kilos against the 120 kilo guy, and that uphill. So yeah, but both batteries are at its place, and it looks awesome. One battery I've already plugged in, and this is now the second one. It's fairly easy, just plug this in until it clicks. It's really cool connectors. Okay, the next step is to connect the communications cables between the batteries, and this one is the master battery. COM1 needs to be connected to the inverter's CAN bus, and this is what we are going to do now. Yeah, luckily I did have a long enough cable on spare at home. You have to always think about this kind of stuff before you install. The included cables with the batteries, they of course do not fit if all the equipment is a bit distant away from each other. But this is now COM1 from battery 1 to BMS port of the inverter. Yeah guys, and that's it. The only thing I have to do is to put new roof tiles. I already got them from the local construction market. This I will then install off camera, but the system is already working, and it already works really nice. Our two new batteries, busbar distribution. Each of the batteries got its MCCB, the main MCCB, and the inverter is already working really nicely. We have charged already a little bit. 3 kilowatts are going into the batteries. I will finish this here, as I said, the structure, and then we will talk about inverter settings and BMS settings. Yeah guys, it's the next day. I finished the installation. Yeah, it was quite a long day, 10 hours working in 36 degrees Celsius. I was completely done. So I just went to bed early, but the Powerwall was already working. So the only thing left what I want to tell you in this video is how I made the batteries communicate to the inverter. As I said, the BMSs which are built in here, PACE BMSs, they are industry standard. The strength of them is to communicate with more or less every inverter brand out there, and especially with the day inverters it's very easy. The default protocol which is set is called pylon. So the only thing to do was to go into the battery settings of the day inverter, and there on the page 1 I had to change. Before we controlled the battery via voltage, so now I had to change over to the mode lithium. So always when you do a change on one page of the day inverter, immediately go to the check button there and confirm your entry. Otherwise, if you then change the page, the inverter will not consider what you did. So after you confirm, you go page number 3 of the battery settings. So there in the first field you will see, or you have to confirm that you write in the address 00, and if this is done, you can already also see there it's written pylon. And if you then confirm all this, go back to the first display, you will then already see at the battery that now state of charge is shown in a percentage there. This state of charge is coming from the battery BMS. And that's all what I want to show you today. So I hope you found this video helpful and interesting. Please comment on the down. How do you like it? I think it looks awesome, and I think it will also perform very well. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I see you in the next one.